Welcome to Building Solid Foundations. I'm your host, Steve Matley. We're coming today from KCAA 1050 AM all over the Southern California area. If you missed our live broadcast on KCAA or if you're out of our area, you can catch us on streaming on the Building Solid Foundations channel. That's available Amazon Fire, it's available Android, and it's available on the free channel. Go ahead and download it. There's a lot of other great shows on there as well. Or you can catch us on your favorite podcast platform. And we're on YouTube as well. The Building Solid. I'm your host, Steve Matley. Today, we're going to talk about some common mistakes to avoid for entrepreneurs and startup business owners. I've owned multiple businesses. I guess people use the term serial entrepreneur, but I've never been in a business that made cereal, so I guess I'm just I've done multiple businesses, and I work with a lot of people that are solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, people starting up businesses, self-employed, and I see a lot of the same mistakes over and over again. So I'm going to talk to you today about some of what I see are the most common mistakes that are made, and hopefully you can avoid them. So first off, I'm going to talk about there's time and money required in any kind of business. And most of us, if we start a business, we're coming from a place where we were employed, some corporations. And sometimes I think as that position, we don't always fully understand all the expenses required to get a business going. So the number one mistake entrepreneurs and startup businesses dramatically underestimating cost of starting and maintaining business. You have to have enough capital. You probably heard the number one reason businesses fail is money. And a lot of them start with money, but they just underestimate how much it takes to get a business started and then to run that business sustainably. Most businesses aggressively will take at least 3 to 5 years to break even if it's not a capital intense business. If it's a capital intense business, manufacturing, restaurants, that's going to be longer. But if you're not a capital intense business, if you're providing a simple service, you can home, you have very low overhead, probably still going to be at least 3 to 5 years to get to that break even. And understanding that most of your early profits are going to be needed to reinvest in your business. All those things are things you can invest in. It's going to take a while. So figure at least 3 to 5 years. I always like to estimate on my structure. And if you estimate on the high side, then you got some room to figure 5 years to break even. And do the math and figure, okay, I have to cover both my business and my personal living expenses for 5 years. Can I do that? Can the business pull off enough? Get enough money to cover my business expenses, my personal expenses. Now, if you're starting a business while working at another job, that's fine too, because you've got that. So that's the first mistake is people dramatically underestimating the cost that it takes to start a business. You want to do a full review, have a plan, put a plan together, and then figure out. And really, you close your eyes and envision, where will I be in 5 years, and what will it take to get? The second mistake that people make, and it's a tied to it, I think it's a side effect of underestimating the cost, and that is people that are new in business, they're entrepreneurs, they're starting a business, they tend to come with a low bid mentality. Now, in our culture, unfortunately, and I come out of construction, so it's really bad. People have this lowest bidder idea that everybody provides the same services. So if I want to find a marketing person, I find an accountant, I need an attorney, I need somebody to help me do printing, whatever it is, I just have to find the lowest cost because everybody's the same, which is not really rational. We know that human beings are not all the same. People are not all the same. Businesses are not all the same. One, maybe they gave you a very low price because they're not sure of what their business is, but they're a startup and they underestimated their cost. And what's going to happen is at some point they either may not be in business to serve you or they may want to charge you more because they just can't get rid of that cost. And that's going to be an unexpected cost. Didn't budget because you thought that was valid. Number two, maybe they're hoping for scope changes that you'll get into a low price and then you'll have things that aren't included exactly in the scope of work, contracted work, and they can charge you change orders. And then there's the whole issue of quality. A lot of times, the lowest cost is someone that's not busy while everyone's other people are charging more because of that capacity. And the person that's charging the low is the one person that doesn't have a lot of business because. And so you have to be careful with that. That's not always the case, but you have to watch out for that. Watch out that you're going to get the quality level want, because there's an old saying that there's nothing more expensive than saving money. So qualify. It's okay to take the lowest price if it's the lowest price and one very qualified providers. So that lowest bid mentality, and understand that not all are created equal, and there's a wide range of quality, experience, compatibility with what you're doing, punctuality, getting things done on time, integrity, all those things you need to really look for. So if you can find someone that's fully vetted and been referenced to you by a lot of people you trust, and they happen to be the lowest price, then that may be a good deal. And this is another side effect, I think, of underestimating the cost of starting a business, is the something for nothing mentality. And I deal with people like this now and then, all kind of parasites. And I that's a horrible term, but here's what I'm talking about. These are people that go out and they make connections, they go to networking, and what they're really looking to do is steal other people's ideas, steal other people's clients, steal other people's products, steal other people's programs to kind of do for themselves. They're basically looking for a lot of free information, a lot of free research without doing it. So it's not a very ethical thing at all. And I find these kind of people are out there, and they come in and they're stealing intellectual property from people to reproduce and do it themselves because they don't have the skill and the talent. These are people that are looking at marketing ideas, and they'll talk to you in a session and steal your best idea and do it themselves, or give you no credit for it, and those kind of things. They'll steal your sayings or your slogans, and a lot of different things. And I find this one of the most disturbing things I've experienced personally was a good friend of mine started a networking group, and they were meeting in person, and there was a particular group they were meeting in a city here in Southern California, and really put a lot of their time and effort into establishing it, setting up a program, recruiting people in, creating connections, following up, the emails, the social media, all the stuff to build up a small networking group that had an opportunity to grow. And then one of the people in one of the meetings, literally decided, I'm going to leave, and announced it to everybody and said, I'm starting my own group that's going to be closer. I'm going to charge less, and all you people are invited. So essentially was taking what that person had built into an networking group, let them do all the hard work, and said, now I'm going to start my own and basically duplicate it and steal all the clients that you have developed. I find that to be appalling, and it does happen out there. The good news is when that happens, you can identify people that you don't ever want to. And I can deal with mistakes and errors, even people that are sometimes rude because they're having a bad day or something. When I really don't, basically out talking to people, meeting people, doing things, and make it their own. And I find that to be good. So I think some of that may just be character flaw. Some of that may be desperation that comes from having underestimated the cost of starting and maintaining their business. And they don't understand they can't afford to hire the people come up with those ideas, the visionaries that people have to hire for graphic design and copywriting, program development, photography, and video production. So they go instead. So those are, I guess, the first three things on my list are all related to cost. So start by really understanding what you're going to do, coming up with a strategic plan, knowing where you're going to be in 5 years, and mapping out what does it take to get there, what are the real costs to hire people, do I need to get certificates and licenses, bigger with spaces, what's marketing a cost, what are advertising costs, what are product creation costs, those things, manufacturing costs, products. What is everything I need? Electronics, if you're doing services, equipment I need, computers and tablets and printers. And then that will help you to avoid the lowest bid mentality, and that'll help you to avoid the parasite. Cost is a huge thing in most businesses fail. So there are a lot of help out there. And one thing is, don't try to save money by doing everything yourself. Don't save money in I guess what I would call unwise ways. I was listening to a presenter once talking to a group of real estate investors saying, if you're really starting out, you don't have a lot of money, you don't need to spend money on hiring an intern. It's really not good advice. That's not where you want to save money. You can't afford the attorney. You can't afford the investment. And I would say the same thing. You can't afford the people and the equipment and the materials that you need to get a business started. Take some time, save some money, and then maybe try again when you've put all those things in place, because then you'll avoid the pitfalls of running out of money I got more. We're going to talk about this, a few more tips. I've got a total of 12 of these we're going to talk about today. This is Building Solid Foundations. I'm Matley. I'll be right back after this short break on KCAA. Don't go anywhere.
Looking to attract your target market without soliciting or doing the cold calling? Call Marie Waite and book your consultation. Branding gives you the power to create a unique and classy perception of your business for your target audience. A marketing plan without the right branding will always cost more, take longer, and tend to deliver subpar results compared to a well-branded business. Marie Waite is a branding strategist who formulates effective marketing and media programs to promote your business in building your name, brand, and legacy. Marie has over 10 years of experience and a proven record of creating strong brand content for business owners, entrepreneurs, and companies using her creative ideas, recommendations, and innovative programs. Book now at mariewaite.com or call her at 951-378-5316, 951-378-5316.
For Building Solid Foundations Radio.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections. Hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
What I want to talk about now is, on the flip side, there's time and there's money. So now we're going to talk about the time. The fourth mistake people make is dramatically underestimating the time that's required to build and grow a sustainable business. As I mentioned when we're talking about the money, it takes at least 3 to 5 years to get to break even if a business is not a capital-intense business. If it's capital-intensive, it will take longer if it takes the money to get started. It takes time in that time to build your reputation, build your client base, build a portfolio, build a resume. It takes years to do that. And in our, drive-through, microwave, instantaneous kind of culture that we've built, we don't have a lot of patience for that. A lot of times we expect immediate ROIs, but it does take time, especially if you want to do it right, if you want to make it sustainable. There are businesses that can be a flash in the pan, and then that's a problem. You need to build a slow, steady, sustainable business model, and that means estimating a time span that makes sense for your business. Again, just like with the money, you envision where you're going, you figure out where am I going to be in 5 years, and what does it take to get there, and then map that out realistically. I get the idea of the big, hairy, audacious goals and things. That's fine, but you also need to be very realistic when it comes to starting your business. This is what's supposed to sustain you. That's a lot of money and a lot of time you're going to put into this, and you don't want it. So make sure you've given yourself enough time, and don't expect it to start making a profit the first year or the second year. It's probably going to take about 5 years. Again, if you're successful, a lot of that money you start getting is going to be reinvested. And while you're doing that, you're going to build your client base. You're going to build your network. You're going to build your connections. You're going to build consultants. You're going to build collaborators, your reputation, your brand. All that takes time. The fifth mistake people make is think you can do it all, or trying to save money by doing it all. I mentioned before the break the mistake that I heard about trying to save money by not hiring an attorney before getting into a real estate. You're not an expert at everything, and you don't want to save money at the wrong places that put you in this situation. Nobody can be an expert at everything at least. You're not an expert in finance, sales, customer service, IT, marketing, law, accounting, web design, media, human resources, operations, cost control, writing, public relations. Nobody knows all that stuff. And all those things are necessary for a business. Those are all very unique, different, and diverse skill sets, and that take experience. And so you have to understand you can't do everything. Be willing to have other people step in and do things. I used to do an exercise for real estate agents when I talked with them about building their real estate as a business, not just a licensed person going out there. I'm a business, and I would create an organization chart that had all those functions I just listed before in an organization chart that a company would have, and then I'd put their name in every single box and say, "See, you went from having a full-time job to this, where now you have this 25. That's why you're so tired, and exhausted." So I tell them, find the first box you want to give away to someone else. Now, 9 times out of 10, it was the finance account themselves and do taxes. So that's great. So there again, we budgeted enough money so that as we grow the business, we can hire other people to do the things that we don't want to do or don't do well. So that frees our time up to go do the things, use our skill set, our experience, to do the thing that our business generates money with, instead of doing all the support stuff that other people do. So bookkeeping, web design and the management, social media posting, content for social media, a lot of that stuff can be hired out to the people. Now, if you love doing that, or that is your business, then by all means do that and then outsource other things. That's related to thinking that you can serve all customers. So the other mistake people make thinking they do it all is can you serve everybody? I talk to people and say, okay, who is your product for? Who's your service for? Well, everybody. Everybody in the world can use this. So think of a product that is actually mass market. McDonald's is advertised to everybody, right? But it really isn't. There's a lot of people that don't eat meat. There's people that eat junk food. There's people that fast food. So there's a lot of people that don't eat that, even though it's mass marketed to everybody. Even they know that they have a target market and they're not. So know who your market is. Know who you are trying to sell to, and focus on that. Okay, so one, don't try to do everything yourself to run your business, and two, don't think that everybody is your customer, because they're not. Know who your customers are and focus. And the sixth mistake that business owners and entrepreneurs start up, trying to market their business using selling mentality. And I mean push selling means I'm going out and trying to push my business. I'm trying to get in. So cold calls, spam emails, concealed flyers, door hangers, unsolicited elevator pitches. I don't know elevator pitches. And they say, "What do you do?" And you have your quick 20 to 30 seconds on what you do. That's great. But to walk up to somebody and immediately hit them with a pitch when it's not really solicited, that can be annoying. And here's the thing: people that use it all know that they don't love it. I don't know anybody that says, "You know what I really enjoy is I like to be, doing my business, having meetings, having calls that come, spam calls come in." I don't know anybody that says. I don't know anybody that likes to go to their email and find their box filled. Be leery of I can get you, this many leads and I guess I'm pushing, or those kind of programs that teach you to do that. It works. I get it. It works. But I find it that for the level of effort compared to the return, it can be pretty simple. So what's the alternative? Pull marketing. Instead of pushing yourself on them, you pull people to you. Problem is that takes time. Pulling people to you means you have taken the time and you have created your branding, created your reputation, created your product or service so that people understand what it is, created a presence out there, and people look at you as the go-to person for that, or your particular clients. It doesn't have to be everybody in the world. Enough people who are your target market look to you as the person, as the right person to go to and ask those questions. They will come to you. That takes time to develop. And again, when you're looking at how long should I budget to get my company sustainable, again, it may be 5 years to get that up and build that up. And you're using social media, you're using print media, using whatever you have to establish your reputation as an. I'm going to be talking to some other people, different episodes about that, and we've actually talked to some guests in the past about that. You can look at old episodes where we talk about branding, personal branding, and those kind of things, and that's tied to that. So the push selling mentality can turn to pull mentality. They come to you, and now they're asking you to help them. That's a much better way to say it. But it takes time to build relationships. There's an old saying: people do business, know, like, and trust, and it goes in that. First, you have to get to know them. That's not going to happen in 20 to 30 seconds. Then they will, if they like you, so they get to know you, and you have a mutual relationship, and you like each other, and then there's trust. And when they know, like, and they trust you for that product or service, or they know somebody who has a need for they're using the person to do it. Okay, the seventh mistake that people make is short-term mentality, and that's tied to what I just talked about. Short-term mentality means is the idea of wanting the results now instead of understanding that you have to take time to let your efforts marinate. There is nothing that's going to come quick. You may be able to go out quickly with coupons and those kind of things and get some results. It's very, very temporary. It's difficult to build customers and sustainable. You have to have a long-term budgeting the money and budgeting the time to start your business. Decide, are we in this for the long haul? Is this going to be my business that's going to sustain me? This is now my career. If you have that attitude, then you understand it's not going to return to you in the next 6 months to time. And that is where you can then take advantage of that and look at creating a team around you and do some of the things you can't do in your business. Understanding planning that it takes to get the right customers. And this third, that relationship. Doing networking, creating a name for yourself in the industry. Have that long-term mentality. So avoid the short-term mentality. Understand if you're going to start a business, it's a serious enterprise. It'll take a lot of you. Your time, your money, your effort, and a lot of your soul, honestly. And you need to understand it's a long-term mentality in this all. And in the short term, it will be a while. In this segment, we're going to take into the break. In this segment, we talked about avoiding dramatically underestimating the time it takes to grow a business, avoiding the thinking you can do it all and serve everybody, avoiding the push selling mentality and embracing the pull mentality, and then avoiding short-term. So that gets us through 7 of the mistakes that I see that entrepreneurs and startup businesses make. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to hit a few more of these and talk about some more mistakes that are made. I'm Steve Matley. I'm building solid foundations on KCAA. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Real Men of Real Estate.
Men of Real Estate radio show here on KCAA.
Boats, mortgages can be purchased.
All of us want to live in thriving communities.
Basically, go to the radio station, KCAAradio.com.
You're listening to Fabulous Lifestyle Radio. I'm your host, Ricky Perry, and we are affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and Sports, where we broadcast to over 5 million households in the greater Los Angeles area. If you missed our previous shows, you can watch us on our streaming networks on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and the Android app.
Looking to attract your target market without soliciting or doing the cold calling? Call Marie Waite and book your consultation. Branding gives you the power to create a unique and classy perception of your business for your target audience. A marketing plan without the right branding will always cost more, take longer, and tend to deliver subpar results compared to a well-branded business. Marie Waite is a branding strategist who formulates effective marketing and media programs to promote your business in building your name, brand, and legacy. Marie has over 10 years of experience and a proven record of creating strong brand content for business owners, entrepreneurs, and companies using her creative ideas, recommendations, and innovative programs. Book now at mariewaite.com or call her at 951-378-5316, 951-378-5316.
FireUp Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. FireUp Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, Head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
This is Steve Matley. Join me every Thursday at 3 p.m. right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations radio talk show. I spent decades as professional construction manager, business owner, KCAA for Building Solid Foundations radio.
Hi, this is Jim McLaughlin with Effective Action Consulting, and I've been a member of Fire Up Connect for, probably 3 years now. And what I really like about Fire Up Connect is the unique model that we go through, that we follow, the agenda, so to speak, in the meeting that really has us get engaged and involved with each other in the meetings. It's not that we're individuals, it's that we're all really working together to better ourselves, our businesses, and the community through the projects that we work on. So I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to network with people in this environment, and it's really impacted my business in a big way. So take a look.
Welcome back to Building Solid Foundations. I'm your host, Steve Matley. We've been talking today about 12 mistakes that entrepreneurs and startup business. And we talked about mistakes related to underestimating the amount of money it takes to start a business. We talked about mistakes related to underestimating the amount of time it takes to build a business. And we're going to talk now about some things that come to how we present ourselves out there, how we present ourselves to the public. And a lot of this is tied to building that reputation, building that brand that's necessary to have success. So the 8th mistake that business entrepreneurs and startup business owners make is mixing business and personal. And what do I mean by that? Well, we all have social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube is pretty much social media as well. So, and there's others out there, if you use Snapchat or whatever. So there's all these things, and many people I know set up accounts specifically for business. Now may have personal accounts, but they need to keep the personal and the business separate, unless their personal account is always being done tied in direct relationship to their business, and they're keeping the personal side as professional. You want to keep those very, very separate. I'm personally a fan of keeping your personal stuff professional as well too. So there's a few things that I see here. People will, on a business page, LinkedIn or a Facebook business page, they will put their personal opinions that have nothing to do with their business out. Now, it's your right to do that. It's everybody's right to be able to be heard. But is that the right platform on your business promoting social media? Unless it is your business. Let me give you an example. If you are a political commentator, a news analyst, a religious leader, or a religious commentator, something like that, well, yes, you're going to be doing opinions about very controversial subjects. And automatically, you are going to alienate people that don't agree with you, but you are going to very much engender yourself to do. And so you have chosen to have a strong loyalty to a very small market. And that's fine. Most of us are not in that. Most of us are selling neutral, selling different services. So marketing, consulting, cupcakes, construction services, graphic design, whatever we're doing. We're doing all these different things out there. So, and they're not about being a commentator on controversial subjects. So why get into it? You're free to debate that stuff on your own, outside of that, with other people and where you want to go. But I'm always very careful to make sure that what is branding my business is just my business. I have my own opinions. I have very strong opinions. Well, that's not my business. That is something I do personal and very separate. So it's best not to alienate half of your potential customer base just to express an opinion, considering you probably are not influencing them to change. That's what you have to understand. Social media, I know they call them influencers. I have never heard of the person that said, I used to think this about this controversial topic, but I saw this little snippet from somebody ranting on social media, and I've never heard that story. What I do see is a lot of people getting upset. Why? Why create divisiveness and animosity on what's supposed to be promoting your business. So keep it out of there. It's better to build relationships first anyways. If you have strong opinions about certain things that you believe are core values to you, you'll do much better by building relationships first and then being able to talk to the people with whom you've built relationships who know, like, and trust you. They will be much more open to what you say without immediately pigeonholing you as one of those crazy. Keep your business and your personal media separate. And don't use your business media just to pick your own opinions on some topic unless you want to risk losing up to potentially 50% of the available market. The only exception there is if your business happens to be. All right. Number 9 mistake that startup business owners are confusing business functions for social functions, networking events, conferences, expos, seminars. These things all have a business function, and there's a highly social function to them too. But your personal social life is not business. What do I mean by that? You should not be at a business function, even say an out-of-town 2 or 3 day conference, and getting so drunk you can't remember what you're doing or saying things you say or acting wild behavior. That has no place. You need to be professional all times. Always be a professional, even if it's a social function. People have cameras, people are recording things, people remember things. And don't forget on Monday morning what you did just because that was a social event that was part of it. Just remember, your social life is your social life. Do that on when you do your social. Everybody needs time to unwind, relax, recreate. Your business is business. You go to functions, and if you're in, even if you're doing a social function and it's in the area around people that generally are your customers, be professional. You're always being watched. So keep professional at all times. I've gone to a lot of networking things, and you'll see people that are, 4 beers in, 30 minutes into the function before they've eaten anything. And they're blabbering and they're saying things they probably shouldn't say and inappropriate jokes, that kind of stuff. It's got no place. Remember, people want to do business who they know, like, and trust, not the people who are obnoxious. Unfortunately, in that position, people make bad decisions. So just avoid that. There's plenty of time for that outside of business. And again, that may sound like really, how would I say, puritanic or stodgy on my part, old fogey-ish. And maybe, but I just believe that you stay professional and keep your reputation intact. Don't do anything to compromise. Again, it takes years to build up a positive, years to build up that investment. And you can lose it with one bad mistake. Why miss that? There is time you go out of town with people on, your friends or whatever, your family, and you want to be social. That's fine. Everybody is entitled to do that, and I'm a big fan of people letting their hair down once in a while, relaxing and being themselves, but not around you. So always be careful to not confuse business functions. Number 10 mistake that's made is it's related to this, is keeping what should be public private and making what should be private public. What do I mean by that? Well, the things that should be public that you don't want to keep private are things that are, say, awards and accolades and accomplishments you made. Now, you don't want to be a braggart, and you don't want to always be look at me, but it's okay to share those things. And when I say that, I'm talking to myself, because if you look at my social media, I am really, really bad at posting things about myself, things that I've done. For example, I was invited to go to London with the group, and I was given several awards. I never even posted it. I just forgot. I never got around to posting it. That should be shared publicly. That needs to be out on my social media, out on my LinkedIn, out on YouTube. But I just didn't. So that's something that I've kept private that should be very public. On the other hand, people make the mistake of making public what should be private. And what do I mean by that? Well, again, we talked about your strong opinions. Those are things that really should be kept private. Also, I've seen people that have a client or a customer that they feel has wronged them, and they decide the way to deal with that, instead of head on and talking to that person, is to go on social medias. To me, that makes them look much worse than whoever the person was. I think it's kind of a petty and honestly cowardly when you deal with it. So don't go on and brag on a business partner or completely just have disparaging remarks about it. Everything on your social media should be positive and pointing to the benefits of your business and product or service. Those kind of things need to be kept private and directly with the people with whom you have a problem. So keep what should be public, make it public, and what should be private. Your personal opinions, disparaging comments, rants, complaining. Kind of summarize in this segment, we're kind of talking, I guess this is more, behavior. We kind of did cost and then we did time. So now we're looking at kind of just behavior things. Again, one is don't mix your business and your personal media. Keep those things in. And two, don't confuse business functions with social functions. Make sure you're always acting professional at all those kind of functions. And three, feel free to share the positive things about your business, the positive things about you that help establish that you're an expert in it. But keep your negative comments, opinions, rants, complaining out of the public. To be done privately. So all these, I guess, ultimately boils down to keep your business and personal side. We're going to take another short break here coming up. And when we wrap this up, I'm going to talk about the last two items that we've gone through. So a quick summary before we go. We started off by talking about the mistakes in this order. First was people dramatically underestimating the cost of starting business. Second was having a low bid mentality. Third was looking for something for nothing, kind of parasites. Fourth was dramatically underestimating the time required to grow and build a sustainable. Fifth was thinking that you could do it all and serve everyone. Sixth was using a push selling mentality instead of a market. And seventh, having a short-term mentality, basically being impatient. Results now instead of taking the time to build the business. Then number 8 was mixing business and personal media. Number 9 was confusing business functions for social functions. And 10 was keeping what should be public private and making what should be private public. So those are the first 10. I've got 2 more to go when we come back from the break on common mistakes that I see and have experienced with startup business owners and owners. This is Steve Matley on Building Solid Foundations, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
This is Steve Matley. Join me every Thursday at 3 p.m. right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations radio talk show. I spent decades as a professional construction manager, business owner, real estate developer, and a college educator, and I enjoy learning new things from other people. We talk a lot about real estate, business, and finance, but we cover a diverse range of other topics as well. Some of the topics we've discussed in the past few months include real estate investing, leadership, higher education, ADUs, marketing using technology, multifamily rental properties, business strategy, entrepreneurship. You never know who may show up or what they may talk about. So join us right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio.
Hi, this is Jim McLaughlin with Effective Action Consulting, and I've been a member of Fire Up Connect for, probably 3 years now. And what I really like about Fire Up Connect is the unique model that we go through, that we follow, the agenda, so to speak, in the meeting that really has us get engaged and involved with each other in the meetings. It's not that we're individuals, it's that we're all really working together to better ourselves, our businesses, and the community through the projects that we work on. So I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to network with people in this environment, and it's really impacted my business in a big way. So take a look.
Welcome back to Building Solid Foundations. I'm your host, Steve Matley. We are counting down the top 12 mistakes that I have observed that startup business owners and entrepreneurs make in their business. And we'll do a summary after this. We're up to numbers 11 and 12 to kind of wrap all this up. Real quick, before you go, if you miss us live here on KCAA, please catch us on our streaming channels. Building Solid Foundations is a free channel on Amazon Fire TV. It's on Roku, and it's on Android. For your Apple users out there, it is not available on Apple yet. And all I can say is that Apple just doesn't play us nice with other children, as these other platforms do. I will get that going at some point. I just haven't put it up yet. I'm looking at putting it up on the for the mobile store. So I'm going to focus on getting that done at some point coming up. But for right now, it's on the other three platforms. We're also on quite a few of the podcast platforms. You can catch us there. We're always on the archives on KCAA.com. KCAA Radio. KCAA. So let's move on. The number 11 mistake that I see entrepreneurs and startup business owners make is related to the Dunning-Kruger. Dunning-Kruger, if you're familiar with that, is the knowing just enough about something to think you're an expert without knowing that you're not enough involved. And here's what I see on that. I see a lot of people out there that start up a business to provide a service that they're not really that much of an expert, but they think they are. And why do they think that? Well, because they took a class, they went to a seminar, they read a book, they got a little certificate, maybe they finished a degree program. None of those makes you an expert. Those are good starts. Those are excellent. I recommend all those things. And if you did all those together for a particular topic, you would be on your way to really learning and having a great foundation in that. But you're not yet an expert. An expert is someone that has done all that over a long period of time, continuously learning, and has experienced it and has done it. I see a lot of people that are trying to sell services to other people that they themselves have never really done. That they have not, it's like hiring a trail guide to take you on a hike who's never hiked. They've not been in that national. Maybe they've been in the national park and hung around at the campsites all the time, and they talked about it, and they read the maps, and they go to they watch all the videos on it, and they go to the training sessions. No, you want the person that's actually been down the trail multiple times to take you as the trail guide. And so, and it may seem a little harsh. If you're in that boat and you want to start the business, I'm not trying to discourage you from doing it. I'm saying continue learning and get to the point where you've accomplished it, and then you really have the pedigree to go sell it to someone else. In the meantime, if you don't have that, maybe you need to think of something different you can offer to people that you are really an expert. All of us have some expertise. We've all done something. Nobody is on this planet for decades without having done and accomplished for other people. We've all done things, even if we underestimate it. We all have a fairly robust resume, maybe very niche in one area, or it may be very broad. But those are the kind of things that we can help, things that we know that other people need. Not something that we got in a book or a seminar or a certificate on, and all of a sudden we're an expert in it. And again, the Dunning-Kruger effect is that idea that I know a little bit about it, and therefore I think I know everything. So I worked at college, and there's a second year of college term they refer to as a sophomore. Why? Well, the sophomore is two words that basically mean why. Okay, so it's somebody who thinks they're really smart, but really isn't. And why is that the second year? Well, because I've been through 1 year of college, so now I'm an expert, but I don't realize I'm only 1/4 the way through this whole process, and there's a lot more to go. All I have is 25% basically, and that's why they're called that. It's mentality of I know so much about this. There's 3 years to go, and for a lot of disciplines, another 6 years or more. So you want to avoid that kind of software. You don't want to just go off because I went to this seminar and learned this. Now all of a sudden, and I can go be an expert and tell everybody else how to. No, you have to have done it. You have to have been down that trail and to guide other people down that trail. So work with other people. Now, what can you do? If you don't have the experience yet, but you've got the education and you've got connections and you feel like that's really what you want to do, maybe what you need to do is partner up with some other people to help and do that in partnership. You bring that piece of the puzzle, they bring some expertise to it. Maybe you've got more of the education and training. That's a good partnership. You have something they don't, and they have something you don't. And then together, you have the experience and the education. That's a good plan. You want to do that. So make sure that you're doing what you're saying you're an expert at. And so that's the number 11. Number 12 is thinking you've arrived. And what I mean by that is it's good to be an expert. So most people consider me an expert at what I do, land acquisition and construction. And I've been doing it for many years. But I've never, ever thought for a second that I've learned enough that I've got it all. No, I still see myself as a learner because you have to stay learning. If you go into an orchard and you look at the trees, you'll notice all the green fruit is on the tree, and it's not good to eat yet. But as soon as the fruit turns ripe, it drops off the tree and it rots. Don't ever become ripe. You always want to stay green because the green fruit is growing. It's getting better. It's getting larger. It's getting sweeter. It's getting juicy. All the ripe fruit is done. It just drops off the tree, rots, or gets eaten by the animals. Okay? So always stay green, no matter how much you know, how much you've done, how much experience you have, how many decades you have behind you, what's your portfolio and your resume. Always be learning. Always look for something else. I teach in a college. I teach both a bachelor's and a master's degree in construction management. My company does land development, entitlement projects. I have a large pool of private investors that team up with me on these projects. So yes, I'm an expert at that. At the same time, I'm always learning. I'm always digging for new things I can learn, new things to learn. Okay, so in summary, we had the 12 items. Don't dramatically underestimate cost of starting a business. Don't have a low bid mentality. Don't try to get something for nothing. Don't underestimate the time it takes to grow a sustainable business. Don't think you can do it all or serve everybody. Don't push yourself on people. Look for a pull mentality. Build that brand. Attract people to you. Don't have a short-term mentality. Look to the long term. Don't mix your business and your personal media. Don't confuse business functions with social functions. Make sure you publicize what should be public and keep private what should be private. Don't assume you're an expert in something that you learned a little bit about. Make sure that you are truly the expert. You've done what you're helping other people do. And don't make the mistake of thinking you've learned everything you're alive in. So that's my top 12 mistakes that entrepreneurs and startup make. If you want to get hold of me, you can go to I've got a couple of websites. One is buildingsolidfoundations.com. And the other is Coast to Coast. Coast, C-O-A-S-T dash the number 2, Coast, C-O-A-S-T.com. You can find me there. I have a YouTube channel, Building Solid Foundations. The streaming channels, that same channel is on Roku, it's on Amazon Fire, and it's on Android. I'm here on KCAA 1050 AM every single week. Hope to see you every single week. We have great guests each and every time. Until next week, this is Steve Matley of Building Solid Foundations telling you to go do something different.
It's your favorite show.